My name's Sophia Bell and I am a software engineer. A software engineer architects digital solutions for a range of problems. User interfaces, user experiences, through to back-end solutions for data architecture and everything in between. Like any time you interact with any digital solution, a software engineer has done that. I work for a company called CompTIA. We are a global boutique consultancy. Our company offers a range of capabilities from management consultancy through to AI, MarTech, user experience, but primarily the main word within that is boutique. So a bit like when you go into a boutique shop, you get a one-to-one, very unique experience. Our company offers that at a client level. We are kind of well known for giving you the answer that you need rather than the answer we think you might want to hear. As a result, we have kind of long-standing clients, and they're very happy to recommend us to future business, which is fantastic. My typical day would be starting off with stand-up, which is where we'd go over the work we'd done the previous day. Quite a lot of the time we'd then have a meeting where we go through any work we're going to do over the next sort of week and a half. And then typically you'd spend probably about 4 or 5 hours on those tasks in a day with sort of meetings interspersed. I try and break up tasks into small manageable chunks and complete those over the course of the day without leaving anything too onerous for the next day. When I first started working as an engineer, I think what surprised me the most was how people have gotten into that industry and where they've come from. The route into software engineering is not just one funnel, so it's not just the people who've done computer science, although there are a lot of them. I've been in businesses where people have come in from law degrees, for example, and have changed their careers, have come in straight from school from the age of 16 and become an apprentice. And it's really a really enjoyable experience not to have everyone doing the same thing, being the same person. And as a result, I feel like I've learned a lot in a very short amount of time from a range of different people in different ages. Some of the best engineers that I know are, 22, 23-year-olds, and they've been coding since they were 12. I mean, and that's quite humbling in a way. But I will grab them and I will learn from them as much as I can. There's always something new to learn. You always feel like there's something that you can contribute to in some way. For me, it's the idea that I am future-proofing not only my career, but my brain, in a way. I love learning, and it's provided me with that. I grew up in quite a techie household. My dad worked with computers all my life. I remember the days of playing DOS games right at the beginning of the internet, which was kind of, I think, where my love for tech kind of really started. My brother and I would play games across the LAN network at home for hours, absolute hours on end. And then over the course of schooling, I kind of really got into the humanities, and I ended up studying English and classics at Durham University. And then after university, I did a bit of traveling, came to London and basically was looking for a temp job, ended up getting a full-time position at the Chartered Institute of Taxation, which is a professional body for those professionals who want to go into tax. And I stayed there for about 10 years, which is a very long time to stay in one place. But the people, I gravitate towards people who are passionate about their jobs, and the people who work there loved tax, to be fair. Over the course of those 10 years, I went from administrator through to a webmaster through to a digital content manager. And then I realized that actually, following a migration that we did with our website, that I was really interested in the coding element. At the beginning of 2020, I took the plunge and I quit my job and I started a coding bootcamp. And that was a month of pre-learning and then 3 months of coding. So that finished in about May, and then I got my job in July. And that's when I started working at CompTIA, and I've been there now 4.5 years. Quitting my job to become a software engineer was definitely a challenging choice to make, because it's always easy to go the safe route and say, okay, well, I'm established in this company, I know everybody, I know the industry well, but all those little niggles in the back of your head of, well, where am I actually going? Am I learning anything? Do I feel like I'm exercising, my potential? They just get louder and louder and louder, and after a while, you just have to take that plunge and make that decision. And sometimes I look back and I wish that I'd done that sooner, for sure. But, maybe I wasn't in the right headspace for it. I was out enjoying my 20s in London, and, maybe I wouldn't have had the bandwidth or the maturity to know that I have to be humble in this industry, and to kind of do that continuous learning. So actually, I think it came at the right time for me. It's definitely a challenge to do a career change, you know, at sort of 30, just past 30, or any age really. Being a software engineer has definitely ticked all the boxes. I'm challenged at a level I never thought I would be again after university. I'm surrounded by people who are so knowledgeable, like unbelievably knowledgeable, and are so happy to share that knowledge and to, you know, to get the next generation of software engineers up to the point where they are. So I've been very, very, very lucky. Any industry, you know, needs software engineers. It's the future. I'm actually quite excited that I don't know where I'm going to be in the next 5 years, and I don't know what my passion's going to be, or you know, what my focus is going to be. And I quite like that, having been in an industry where I knew where I was going for the last 10 years. I find it quite exhilarating, to be honest. What would happen if you stayed in your job? I think that's the way to look at it. It's not about the great unknown. It's about the known knowns. You know, are you going to be satisfied in 10 years? Are you going to be looking back and think, I wish I'd done X, Y, and Z? I think it's much better for your mental health and for your psyche to push out into the unknown and then live with no regret than, you know, stay in a career that you hate or you know that you're not going to get anywhere in. My advice would be, just do it.